The opinions expressed in this show are the views of the host and not necessarily that of WTRW, 94.3 The Talker, or the Bold Gold Media Group.
The following presentation is paid for by Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate, who is solely responsible for its content. Portions transcribed.
All Century 21 real estate offices are independently owned and operated.
This is the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. Good morning. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, and with Pat Devaney, my co-host, fellow realtor, husband.
Good
How
morning.
are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Excellent. We have with us for the second week in a row, Bob Burns, owner of Ticked Off and Burns Fence, LLC. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Thank you for coming back with us. We appreciate your time. I'm
No
doing
problem.
well. Thank you.
No problem.
We're here every Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m., where we review many real estate topics. We have an exceptional real estate office with many relentless realtors who've been guiding, assisting, and advising clients in real estate matters for over 50 years.
I think we've covered all the real estate topics in the past 15 years, haven't we?
There's always one or two that's out there that we haven't
There's
conquered.
always one or two.
Yes.
All right. During the week, feel free to email us with any questions you have at questions@jruddy.com. That's questions@jruddy.com. Or you can give us a call at 570-344-6724. And when you go to jruddy.com, click on the webcam tab and see what's going on live at Dunmore Corners. You never know what you're going to see.
Check us out on social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Also, remember to view our listings, search the MLS listings, and listen to archive radio shows by going to mobilefriendlyjruddy.com. That's JRUDDY.com. And many of you know that we also offer this radio show on a podcast, and all the popular podcast apps that are out there are featured on jruddy.com as well. So you can listen to us anywhere, anytime.
That's how my sister listens on
Yes.
the podcast. She said she's out for a run. I heard the podcast.
Yes, yes. She's a loyal listener.
Yes, she
Hi,
is.
Eileen and Jimmy, and Regina and Bobby.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
very good. Loyal listeners. We like loyal listeners. And Bob, you listen from time to time.
Yes, I'm out Saturdays, Sundays before church, doing quotes, moving equipment.
And you have us
know,
on.
And always 94.3.
So-
always.
Local radio works.
Local
Yes.
radio works. Absolutely.
And when you came in here, you felt like you knew us.
Yep,
Right?
absolutely.
Okay,
Yep.
good. All right. Bob Burns, owner of Ticked Off. Love that name. And
Yep.
Burns Fence, LLC. So they go hand in hand.
They do.
Right?
They absolutely do. The tick or the fence is a not just a first line of protection to keep larger animals out and keep dogs and kids from going into the woods, but it's also it's also for so many different things in your yard to protect your gardens. Privacy is a big thing. People love their privacy. But then the tick spraying is for maybe those HOAs that aren't allowed to have fences. Even with fence, I would still suggest spraying. But that spraying is an absolute protection. I mean, we went over the diseases last week a little bit about how horrible they can be, how detrimental they can be. And
it's not only Lyme disease. It's
it's ehrlichiosis, babesiosis, anaplasmosis. I mean, you can go down the list. And what people don't realize is, it makes you sick. It's beyond sick, some of these illnesses. You can get paralysis. You can have heart problems. You can have brain issues, joint issues. It can bring on arthritis early. There are renal issues. And death. There are people who die from these diseases. We just don't hear about them, They absolutely cause long-term and even up to death in some situations.
And all of you, it's all natural.
All natural. Cedar oil-based product. So
not some funky chemical made in the Soviet Union?
Well, no, absolutely not. No,
Okay.
it's not, and it's not colored orange.
Okay.
It's, but no, we even with this product, we still have to be mindful. For example, if you have a garden, if we spray on your garden right before you harvest
tomatoes,
your tomatoes, it can have a pretty nasty taste on it. Cedar oil is not a nice tasting product. It's not going to hurt you, but it's not a nice taste. So we're mindful of that. We're very careful to not spray the gardens. The other big question we get is bees. A lot of the chemicals we spray now, especially for weeds, that the Roundup, all that, that's what's killing our bees off. Without bees, we don't have life, and people don't realize that. But bees pollinate, which gives you the fruit, which gives you the vegetables. Without it, we're starving. But so to protect the bees, this does not kill the bees, which is a very important factor. You know, in the fence world, we do a lot of what I like to call farmettes. People coming from the city, they buy a little bit of land, they have some animals, they have their gardens, they're trying to be self-sufficient, self-reliant. And so they're very conscious about, how is this going to affect my animals? How is it going to affect the bees, my garden? Because it's, for them, it's their life. That's their livelihood. That's how they eat. So we're absolutely mindful of how it's going to affect the ecosystem.
A lot of people have chickens these days, you know,
Yep.
so, and, you know, for a variety of reasons.
We have chickens, we have ducks.
Right,
Yeah.
right, okay.
And tell me about the most annoying chickens
So
that are great to eat ticks.
if you're half deaf and you don't like your neighbors,
Don't give people ideas around here. You're
can
giving
get-
people ideas.
You can get guinea hens. Guinea hens, they eat thousands and thousands of ticks and other insects. So do chickens. Guinea hens are a little bit more aggressive with it, and they're great. But the noise they make will drive you insane.
Don't drive me insane. I'm half deaf.
Well, then it works for you.
Yeah,
What about me?
I'll take my hearing aids out.
So that's one of the, you know, we were talking before about DIY stuff, things that you can do, you know, to help. Cedar mulch is one thing, you know, to keep the ticks away.
Because the ticks will go in the mulch.
They will go in absolutely anywhere where there's moisture and it's going to keep the heat and sun off it. They're going to go in that. But cedar, they're going to be repelled from. It'll keep them out of certain areas, the cedar mulch. That does cost a little bit more.
You said that also that they breed in leaf
The stick piles, the leaf piles, get those.
Okay.
And if you don't want to clean those up, me and my company can do that for you. You know, we don't just do fence and spraying. I mean, when you do fence, you're asked to do a whole bunch of other stuff, build run-in sheds, you know, we do water drainage issues, stone driveways, you know, we fix underground like septic lines, stuff like, it's just stuff you have to do when you're doing fence. But if you're in a spot where you can't do that stuff, either time-wise or your physical inabilities, we can absolutely do that. We try to be a one-stop shop for a lot of this stuff. So we can remove that stick pile. We can get rid of that leaf pile. We can get rid of those tires for you. We can even rearrange your backyard, move that. You know, a lot of people have the swing sets and they want to put it all the way over in the corner, you know, so you don't have to really mow around it, you know, that kind of thing. That's the worst place to put it because that's usually where the tree branches are hanging over and you're thinking about, oh, I'm going to give shade for the kids, which is that's a common sense thing, but you're putting them closer to the realm of the ticks by doing that, putting it all the way over in the corner where the woods are. There's a myth out there that ticks only go from, you know, grasses, bushes, low-lying branches, and they don't fall from trees on top of you.
Or they're only in the woods.
Or they're only in the woods, because they're not only in the woods. As a hunter, I can attest to, and I can guarantee you could talk to other hunters, we have seen ticks fall on us. We have felt them fall on us. So they will be in trees. Now, you will look it up, and the scientific community will say, there's no proof. I'm telling you my experience. They may not have the proof, but I've seen it with my own eyes. Yes, they will come off of the trees on top of you. They like the edge of woods. That's really where because there's a lot of bushes there. And that's where you're going to have a lot of pass through of animals. Deer, bear, they're going to pass through the bushes and into the woods, which tend to be a little bit more open. So they're going to be mainly on that edge line. That's where they're really going to focus their attention, just because of where they can get a meal from, basically. So yeah, other DIY things that your gutters, if they're bowed in the middle, you got to get them fixed. They're going to store water. You're going to have mosquitoes in there, you know, because this product that we do spray does also deal with mosquitoes and fleas as well. But that's where your mosquitoes are going to lie, wherever there's water. So your gutters, if they're sagging in any way, if the water comes out and it's not draining properly, all of this is going to be a problem. And we can help with all of that stuff that you need done there.
And there's no ticks in the winter?
There are.
So is that a myth?
Let's back up and talk about when is the height of tick season.
Anything above 35 degrees is going to be the height. You're going to find them in more numbers probably in the summer and in the early fall. But these things are ferocious. So I got a lot of questions. A lot of people are saying, well, this winter is going to affect your tick business. It's been so cold.
Right. No?
No.
Oh, jeez.
No. These ticks are tough. What they do is when it starts getting cold, they go down into the leaf beds and they just wait there. And they're insulated. They can handle, think about it. How hard is it to kill a tick? You could step on it with your boot. It ain't going to kill them. You literally have to cut those suckers in half or burn them. They're very strong. They will, about 35 degrees is when they will come out from under the leaf beds and start looking for hosts. Yeah. So the whole concept of, a cold winter is going to, no, they may work with other insects, but not with ticks. And that's the issue we run into. And so you're in the woods and you're thinking, it's 40 degrees out, and you come out of the woods and you got 3 ticks on your leg. That's exactly why. They're just about above 35 degrees is when they're going to start becoming very active.
Do the insect repellents keep them off of you? Like the stuff with the DEET, does that work?
It does. I don't like to spray the chemicals, but if you're in the woods a lot and you're spraying your clothes down and it's not really touching your skin, it does absolutely help, and it does work. So for hunters and stuff like that, our product, I can't say that it would be a good product to put on your person because of the cedar oil spray could,
Right. No, I'm not saying I'm not going to spray my whole yard with off.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if it's an effective repellent.
I wouldn't suggest breathing it in or getting it on your skin, but your clothes, I think, would be okay.
No, I wouldn't put it on my skin. I put it on the clothes.
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
All right. So what can we do? Because I like to go out there and garden and prune and cut my bushes and hedges and,
She does.
I do. She loves it. I pull weeds. I do all of that. What can I do?
The first thing I would
90 degrees, do I have to wear gloves and long sleeves? And
first thing I would suggest is shave your head. They hide in your hair.
Okay.
But no, just kidding. But no, you're gonna putting on some sort of repellent. If you could find a natural repellent, that's the way I would go first. Spraying your yard, having us come out and treat it will obviously help with that. But being very conscientious about, checking yourself over, or if your husband's at home, hey, do you see anything on my back, or, anything like that. You can also, when you go inside, you can remove your clothes and put them in the dryer right away. I think don't get me wrong, but I think it's 30 minutes on high will kill the ticks. So that's something else you can do just to help protect yourself. But, beyond, yard maintenance, getting those piles cleaned up,
keeping your grass cut,
keeping your grass low. If you have any type of wired fence that has taller grass or vines growing on it, get rid of those things. Vines on your house, get rid of those things. That will help out tremendously. Absolutely.
What about mulch? Do they live in mulch?
Yes. They will live in other mulch that isn't repulsive to them. Yeah, absolutely.
Cedar mulch, they don't like.
They don't like cedar mulch. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but if I'm guilty of it. I call my local tree guy. I say, hey, you got a load of chips? Just bring them over and dump them. They rot real fast, but at least I can use them for something. But they will hide in that. They'll hide it if it's hardwood or, absolutely they'll hide in that. So I'm kind of not taking my own advice there, but yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And you don't spray gardens?
Well, we'll spray gardens in the beginning of the year, but when it gets close to harvest time, because cedar oil has a very bitter taste to it, I don't want to get that on the plants or anything like that. We'll avoid that. We could spray around the gardens, and that's fine. But yeah, there are some helpful things online, epidemiology reports and vector reports and stuff like that. And they give you really helpful just diagrams of what diseases there are, what ticks carry those diseases, what types of ticks, how to identify those types of ticks, and, even how to treat them, that kind of thing. But mainly the diseases, what symptoms the diseases are, and what type of ticks carry those diseases. The common ones that we have are the black-legged, the dog ticks, and the Lone Star ticks. And they all carry something. They could carry some of the similar things, but, like the Lone Star tick won't carry anaplasmosis or babesiosis, but the black-leg tick will. So when you look at a specific tick that may have bitten you, well, it only carries these diseases. I would still suggest getting tested.
Sure. But there's a lot of false negatives.
There are.
So
the one good thing is the research lab down in East Stroudsburg, their testing is 99.9% accurate.
All right.
But that doesn't mean you have it.
Right.
Because it may not have been biting you long enough, so you have to be careful of that. But they can at least test that tick and let you know what it's
carrying.
Yep.
And so what's that website?
This you could just go online and look up epidemiologic and clinical characteristics of tick-borne illnesses.
Okay.
And CDC will have this kind of stuff. Other places, the Philadelphia Centers for Disease Control have some of this stuff too. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So do your research, Rita.
Yeah, and it's not hard. We were just talking about ChatGPT. I mean, with the technology we have, you just go on Google and say, tick diseases, and it'll just it'll get
a ton of
go under
information.
images, and it'll give you charts galore.
Good
charts
stuff.
Galore. Yeah.
Bob Burns, owner of Ticked Off and Burns Fence LLC. How does someone get in touch with you, please?
You can call me at 570-352-8085. Email addresses are burnsfencing@yahoo.com or tickedoffpa@yahoo.com. Or you can check us out on Facebook, Burns Fence LLC or Ticked Off LLC.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
We'd like to welcome Henderson Nunez, a young, energetic, and hardworking real estate professional who's ready to help people navigate their next move. He's a bilingual agent fluent in both English and Spanish. Henderson is dedicated to serving a diverse range of clients, ensuring clear communication and a seamless real estate experience for everyone. He brings a fresh energy and enthusiasm to every transaction and combines that with a strong commitment to client satisfaction. Whether you're buying your first home, selling a cherished property, or looking for the perfect investment, Henderson's can-do attitude and work ethic ensure that no challenge is too big and no detail is overlooked. If you're looking for a dedicated and approachable agent who will work tirelessly on your behalf, reach out to Henderson Nunez today. He can be reached at 570-344-6724 at extension 239. And when you're transferred and punch in our extension numbers, you're brought to our cell phone. So 570-344-6724, extension 239. Pat?
Yes, we have a totally remodeled one-bedroom home at 148 East Pine Street in Dunmore for $169,000. This beautiful home would be perfect for a single person or a couple. If you're tired of paying rent, this is the way to go. The taxes are only $975 a year, and everything inside is new. The kitchen has new granite countertops. It's got new appliances, new plumbing, new electric. This is a beautiful place. You could live here for what you're now paying in rent, and you could be building equity instead of giving the money to the landlord. That's a totally remodeled one-bedroom home at 148 East Pine Street in Dunmore for $169,000, and that's listed by Karen Kashuba of our office.
Thank you, Pat. Hold on for more Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. We will resume in just a moment after a very short break. Are you ready to make your next move in the world of real estate? Look no further than Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate, your trusted partner in buying and selling homes. If you're a homeowner looking to sell, Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate will ensure you get the best possible price in today's competitive market. And if you're in the market to buy your dream home, Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate will help you find the perfect place to call your own.
Congratulations.
We've adopted the popular saying, an educated consumer is our best customer. That's why since 2010, we've hosted the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate Saturdays at 11 a.m., Sundays at 11:30 a.m. on 94.3 The Talker. Visit jready.com. That's JRUDDY.com or call 570-344-6724. Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate, where dreams find their address. Welcome back to the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm here with Pat Devaney, my husband, fellow realtor.
And we're back.
With Bob Burns, owner of Ticked Off and Burns Fence LLC. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Thanks for being here.
No problem.
All right. So let's hit you with what everybody out there is probably wondering. How much does a tick control treatment cost?
I know the answer. It depends.
It depends. That's right. Yep. So it really does depend on the size of the property. Are we just doing the perimeter, or are we finding that we have to do the yard as well? Those are two of your major things. On average, a quarter-acre property with a simple perimeter, you're probably looking at like $100 a treatment, somewhere in there. Obviously, the price goes up the more material we have to use, the more time my guys spend there. We usually start in April, May-ish. I know that this year doesn't count, but the last couple of years we've been getting pretty warm pretty early. So sometimes in the end of March, but and we will go. We will go into at least November, sometimes December if it's a warm month. So.
Well, what happens if you did it in a warmer day and then it gets cold again? Does that?
No. The only thing that affects it is the rain.
Oh.
So if let's say we're in September and it's hurricane season and we get one climbing up the coast and we get 6 inches of rain dumped on us, you should probably have us back out again.
Yeah.
Because that will wash a lot of the product away.
Oh, sure.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. And so how often? Should you do this monthly?
We recommend monthly. That's what we recommend, unless, we put it down and 2 weeks later we get hurricane, who knows what, coming through and we have to come back out and spray again. And I would really suggest, these things seem to affect kids more than it does adults because kids are more active.
Right.
They run around, they go through the bushes, they get into places they're not supposed to, and for some reason, and I tried to figure this out, but scientists don't even know why, mosquitoes like kids better than adults. It's a scientific.
It's like veal.
It's like veal. Yeah, it's like a scientifically proven fact. I couldn't tell you why. The scientists don't tell me why, but they know that it's true. So
mosquitoes like my husband Pat.
And I'm not a kid.
And he's nowhere near a kid.
He's a sweet guy.
Yeah, I don't know. It must be his oils or something.
Irish stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we like to suggest, camps thinking about this thing, schools thinking about this, playgrounds, those kinds of things. But you don't want the chemicals sprayed there, So these are absolutely things that you think about. And you think about a soccer field. These deer are bedding in that soccer field all night long. And then you have 50, 60, 70 kids coming out. And they're not just playing on that field. We're talking little kids. They're falling, they're tripping, they're sliding, they're slide tackling, they're doing whatever they can, rolling around in all of this, picking up the ticks. Like, these are the things you want to have sprayed and want to have covered. But as a parent, I don't want the chemicals out there. That's something that I don't want. But so... as far as the season is concerned, you're probably looking April to November, maybe December.
For monthlies.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And like I said, we can help with the initial April cleanup. If we need to come in and we need to put new cedar mulch down, or we need to clean those sticks out, clean those branches out, straighten up some gutters, here's another thing that some people don't think about, and I'm going to be talking a little bit more towards the self-reliant people. They like their water catchment systems. So, for their animals, they like to run it off of the gutters into these water catchment systems, and that's fine. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but you really have to be vigilant into, are those catchment systems covered up so that mosquitoes cannot lay eggs in there? The gutters that you're using, yes, it's pushing water out when it's raining into that system, but is there water sitting idle in there when it's not raining? The eggs are laid, and then as the water comes down, it gets washed into your system. So these are things you really have to take into consideration and look at and watch for when you're thinking about water. Even a lot of people, my potted plants, I put water in it. Yeah, but that catch tray at the bottom, that can have water sitting in it, and they lay eggs there. Anywhere where water can lay for the mosquitoes, that's a big thing.
Well, I have wood. I have a wood front porch. I don't have concrete. So under the flower pots, we do put the catch basins because I don't want the wood to rot.
Mm-hmm. And you just have to be aware of that.
Yeah, I know. Just kind of.
So
It's okay because ours, they have holes in them and the water just runs out of them anyway.
But even think about now under your deck. This is the other thing that can affect the price. If you have a big deck and it's holding in some moisture under there, and you've got leaves that have blown in under there, sticks that have blown in under there, that's all ticks. You know what I mean? And if we have to go under there and spray as well. So there's a lot of things. You got to look at your house. Are there cracks and holes that allow mice in and out? That'll carry your ticks in. There's a whole bunch of things that, to the untrained eye or the person who doesn't know, they're not even going to think about. And they're going to sit here, why am I getting ticks? Why am I getting this? Why is this happening?
Sure.
You need somebody to come in and say, that needs to go. That needs to get sealed up. This needs to be moved here so that you can be more safe in this situation.
You're not a landscaper, and many landscaping companies do not offer a tick treatment, but you offer an all-natural tick treatment, and you're effective. But at this time of year, you're getting ready to go out there. You're not only doing the tick treatment, you're doing yard cleanup. So as a fencing company, we try to be that one-stop shop for everybody. So we may not do a ton of landscaping, but we still will do the mulch and maybe plant a couple plants here and there, but we don't do the architectural landscaping, that kind of thing. But we'll do that. We'll plant some plants under fencing and stuff like that. But yard cleanup, most of the time we have to do it anyway because they want the fence running through here. So we've got to cut down trees, we've got to remove branches, so we do a lot of that stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. Bob Burns, owner of Ticked Off and Burns Fence LLC. Mm-hmm. How does someone get in touch with you, please?
You can give me a call at 570-352-8085. Email is burnsfencing@yahoo.com or tickedoffpa@yahoo.com, or you can look us up on Facebook, Ticked Off LLC or Burns Fence LLC.
Thank you,
Give us a shout out there.
Would you come back next week?
Absolutely.
Thanks, Pat.
Yes, we have an opportunity to own an active automobile repair shop in a prime location at 991 Providence Road in Scranton for $450,000. This garage, it's got 4 bays and it's got 4 lifts. It's also got a parking lot in the rear that can handle dozens of cars. This is located on a busy street, and it's in a high visibility spot just down the block from Scranton High School and Weston Field. That's an operating auto repair business with a large 4-bay building with 4 lifts at 991 Providence Road in Scranton for $450,000, and that's listed by Sherry Hoban of our office.
Thank you, Pat. There's a lot of different things that can go into that commercial space. Yeah, so it's not only an auto repair place. A lot of contractors look for buildings like this to store their vehicles.
Right.
Landscapers and people that do snow removal that have plows and big trucks. Right.
There's parking lot in the rear and in the front. It's got lots of space.
As a contractor, you need it. Materials, trucks.
Right. It's
you
a ton of
keep your
space
stuff
inside
protected.
the building, yeah.
Yep. And one way to do that is to fence off the area, too.
There you go. Yeah. So it has multi-uses. It could be a multi-purpose building, not just an auto repair shop.
That one auto repair shop, they turned into a bar.
Oh, yeah. That's neat.
That's
that
right.
would be a good location,
Yeah,
too.
busy spot. Mm-hmm. They took the roll down doors and they made them glass so you can see all the people sitting in there.
Yeah, there's a place like that over in New York. I think it's in Narrowsburg, maybe.
Nice. Good ideas.
Time to wrap up another enlightening episode of the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate on 94.3 The Talker. We'll be back next Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m.